So you keep forgetting words while speaking English or any other foreign language? This is a very common problem, and I faced it as well as a non-native English speaker or when I learned German, my third language. I've also realized that there is a reason for it and a way to solve it. I'm gonna reveal that in today's video, so hopefully you will be finally able to remember words that you've learned better and memorize new vocabulary faster and more permanently. Before we start, make sure to click the subscribe button if you would like to progress in language learning with me, because in this way you can see more videos like this in the future. So with that being said, here we go. Forgetting words that you know can be quite annoying and frustrating, especially when it happens during a conversation. But what if I tell you that this is a natural process of learning? The thing is that even though it may sound paradoxical, to learn something permanently, you have to forget it a couple of times and then remind yourself of this word again and again. This is a general rule, but let's analyze every single reason why you keep forgetting words in a foreign language. The reason why you keep forgetting words: number one, they are not in your long-term memory. There are 4 types of memory. Sensory memory, that is like 3 seconds long. Short-term memory, that lasts from 30 seconds to a few days. Working memory, that is similar to a short-term memory, but it's characterized by the fact that you keep the information in your head long enough to use it. And finally, there is long-term memory, that allows you to remember words, information, events for years. I tell you this because when you memorize a word and it stays in your head for some time, let's say for a few days, it doesn't mean that you know this word and that you will remember it forever. This word is most likely remembered by your short-term memory, but we want to have it in our long-term memory, so we can remember it forever and use it whenever we need. But the question is, how can we do it? The solution that will help you remember new words permanently: number 1, repetition. As I mentioned earlier, to learn something permanently, you first have to forget it a couple of times. Repetition is a key to remembering new words. There are many ways how you can revise the vocabulary that you've learned. One of them is spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is an evidence-based learning technique. To understand how it works, let's look at forgetting curve. So what we can see here is that when we learn a word for the first time, we're gonna easily forget it. But when we remind ourselves of this word second time, it will stay in our memory for longer. And every single time when we revise this word, it stays in our memory for longer and longer, till the moment when we finally remember it permanently. So we can see that repetition is a key to learning new words in a way that they will stay in our minds. Spaced repetition uses flashcards to solve this problem of forgetting new words in a foreign language. You can create your own flashcards on paper, but you can also use some apps such as Anki, Memrise or Quizlet. They will help you to remember new words, and also you can create your own flashcards online. However, there are pros and cons of spaced repetition and using flashcards to learn new vocabulary. It is definitely useful when you have to learn a certain group of words for an exam, for example. But if your goal is to achieve a general fluency in a language, then I would say that this is a little bit an artificial way to learn vocabulary, right? So the question for now is, how can we naturally revise new vocabulary in a foreign language? And the answer is reading and listening, because the most useful words are often repeated in any book or a video in a foreign language. So reading and listening to a foreign language is a way to revise the vocabulary that you know. So when you see them or hear them again, they are more likely to stay in your long-term memory. I think that there is no one perfect or the best method to learn new words. You can actually achieve the best results when you combine many different ways to learn new vocabulary. So you can use flashcards, but also learn new vocabulary from a context. Read and listen in order to remember new words permanently. The reason why you keep forgetting words. Number 2. Your brain doesn't recognize those words as important information. A brain is a machine with limited capacity. That means that in order to work properly, it has to decide which information is important and which one is not. If your brain could remember everything, you wouldn't be able to function, because it would take your whole energy. So your brain throws from your memory information and words that don't seem to be useful, so there is space for some more important things. Forgetting information that are irrelevant is a healthy and natural process. But the question is, how can we solve it? The solution that will help you remember new words permanently. Number 2. Prove to your brains that the words you want to learn are important. So your brain randomly hears a word, and it doesn't know if it's gonna need it or not. That's why you will forget it, unless you will show your brain that this is something important. So the way you can do it is to use this word in a context. Create your own sentence. Try to imagine a conversation with this word. Because in this way, your brain's gonna know that this is not an abstract thing to remember, but this is actually something that can help you maintain a conversation. There is also another way of how you can prove to your brain that a word is worth remembering. And this is something that I've already mentioned. Repetition. Because when you see a word for the first time, your brain doesn't know if it's worth remembering, because it can be a very specialized term that you will hardly ever use. But when you see a word again and again, your brain already knows that this word is probably useful and it's worth remembering. The reason why you keep forgetting words. Number 3. You know them passively. Have you ever had this feeling that you know this missing word? Have you ever checked the word that you needed to use in a conversation or while writing, and then you've realized that you knew this word? The reason for it is that you know many words passively, but not actively. And as a result, you are unable to use them in a conversation. The solution that will help you remember new words permanently. Number 3. Activate passive vocabulary. Forgetting words that you know while speaking can be solved by activating your passive vocabulary. And you can do it by using them, by creating your own sentences with those words. Activating your passive vocabulary will not only help you to speak a foreign language, but it will also help you to remember new words way better, because you remember words permanently when you know how to use them and when you've already practiced them in a conversation. Those are all the reasons why you keep forgetting words in a foreign language, and solutions for how to remember them forever. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions or you would like to share your experience, you can do it down below in the comment section. If you like this video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and also if you don't know how to activate your passive vocabulary, or if your problem is that you can understand a foreign language but you cannot speak, check out the video that is visible on the screen right now. So click right here, see you there, and thank you for watching this video.